Megan from Megan Orman Fitness, and I Stroll Bowling Green. In this video, we're going to run through the postpartum fitness blueprint in relation to another example exercise. This time is going to be squat jumps. So, for those of you that are familiar with squat jumps, great. You might be already performing them now. Maybe you're performing them with symptoms, or maybe you're trying to progress back into squat jumps. Squat jumps, for those of you that aren't familiar, you're getting in a squat and you are jumping up, leaving the ground, coming back down, back into another squat. Usually we're performing multiple repetitions of a squat jump at the same time. So it's going to look like this. And so on and so forth. So now let's run through the postpartum fitness blueprint in relation to squat jumps. The first part of the postpartum fitness blueprint is engage. So are you engaging your core and pelvic floor during this exercise? If so, notice when. Second is execution. Actually perform the exercise. You'll ask, when should I be engaging during this exercise? Ideally, you'll want to be engaging at the bottom of the squat. Exhale, perform your pelvic floor contraction and deep core activation. As you come up out of that squat, you're exhaling, leaving the ground. Continue exhaling as you land, and then you can inhale as you lower back down into the squat. If you notice, in our exercises and workouts that I've written for you, you will be practicing a squat to a calf raise with this breathing and engagement before you actually transition into squat jumps. This is why. So that you already have this tempo of breathing down before you start to perform this exercise. So let's go ahead and start. You did engagement, you did execution, now we're at evaluation. Did you have any symptoms while you were executing the exercise? Did you have any leaking? Did you have any heaviness in your pelvic floor? Sorry, it's difficult for me to breathe right now because I'm getting over a cold. Did you have any leaking, heaviness, any sort of mainly pelvic floor symptoms at this time? But if you are recovering your core as well, you could try to assess some core symptoms. But usually this exercise is not going to be very core intensive. So we're looking at mostly pelvic floor symptoms during this exercise. So evaluate it. Did you have any symptoms? Yes, I experienced some leaking. Yes, I have some heaviness. Another one that you need to pay attention to is, especially during impacts, do you have any urgency? The urge to go to the bathroom after you perform impact exercises. So if after you're doing jumping jacks, squat jumps, running, you are running to the bathroom after that, then that is also a symptom that we need to check in with. So if so, now let's try to make our adjustments. Breathing. Are you breathing in the way that I described earlier? If that's really not working for you, another option is just to breathe whenever you want to. Sometimes you can't time the breath perfectly, especially when you're doing quick movements like squat jumps or running. So just try to breathe, inhale and exhale whenever through this exercise. So don't worry about inhaling and exhaling at perfect times. Just continue to breathe at a pace that works for you. You'll notice that I was inhaling a lot longer than the tempo that I used to practice. And this might work for you. So if so, great, continue to do that. Check in with your posture too. As you're coming down into a squat, are you sticking out boobs and butt in this squat? Okay, nice arch through the back. And as you're coming up, you're doing that nice arch as well. So if you've got this arch going on in your squat jumps, that may be producing symptoms for you. Also, if you've got a hunch going on here, that's exaggerated obviously, but if you've got a hunch going on, the mom posture, then that could produce symptoms as well. So check in with your posture as you go through the exercise. You may need to slow it down so that you can see what your posture looks like as you're performing the exercise. Also, tension. How much tension are you holding in your core and pelvic floor? Again, it could be that you need less tension as you're performing the exercise, and it could be that you need more tension. So play around with that. I can't really give you an example while I'm doing it because you can't see my core and pelvic floor engagement as I'm performing the exercise. But that's going to be up to you. Play with a little bit more or a little bit less tension as you're executing the exercise. Next, improve mechanics. So again, do this in front of a personal trainer, in front of a postpartum fitness specialist. Email me a video if you want to. Check in with somebody so that they can see your form and movement, and maybe they can make a few adjustments for you if you're lost. And then modify the movement as needed. A good modification for squat jumps, if you need to take out the impact, is just that squat to calf raise. Practice that movement without the impact, or you can also perform squat jumps and just not jump so high. So they may look like this. Practice that soft landing. That's going to help your pelvic floor be able to better support you as well. Practice the soft landing on your toes through that squat jump and landing. Maybe you just don't make as big of a movement in the beginning before. Maybe you start here, which is perfectly acceptable place to start. Or you do the squat to calf raise. That's a good modification as well. And then the last step of the postpartum fitness blueprint is just to empower you to make the decision for yourself, knowing that the leaking, urgency, pelvic floor heaviness is not likely to improve unless you do something to assist it. Preferably pelvic floor strengthening, relaxing, meeting with a pelvic PT, and understanding how your pelvic floor is responding to this exercise. If you have any questions or concerns, drop me a comment below, send me an email, and I'm happy to try to break this down with you. Good luck, guys. You got this.